Hey y'all, it's your girlfriend. Welcome back to my channel, and here we are for another video. I just want to say this real quick in between here. I am not encouraging anybody to do drugs at all, and after this experience I definitely will not eat any more edibles after this. If you are under 18, please click off this video. This is just an informative situation about an experience I had. It was a crazy one. Let's get into it. My first time eating an edible. So this was not my actual first time eating an edible, but it was my first time getting high off one. Okay, let me just tell y'all something about the first time I had one. So the first time I had one is when a best friend of mine in high school, it was her birthday, and these girls at school like made her some. Those didn't really have that much of effect. I guess they didn't have a lot in them. I ate it. I was a little hype off of it or whatever. If y'all don't know what Racetrack is, it's a gas station. It's like a 7-Eleven that we have down here. And like I went there and got like one of those large slushies with like buku mixed colors and mixed flavors, and I like tore that shit up. I went to work and like my stomach was fucked up, like real fucked up after that. Like I regretted that. But yeah, that's all that happened to me then. But this time around, this year, this shit right here, nigga. Y'all, this shit had me gone. So let me just give y'all a little backstory of like what happened up and towards this point. Alright, so boom. I was bored, so I decided to make myself a Tinder. I think I should check it out, see what the hype is about. So I get on. In the first few days, I was like, why haven't I been on this app? Like, I've been missing out on so much. People don't really be on there, but I deleted it now. I don't have it no more. Anyway, I met this cool dude from Tinder, and he went to a university around where I stay at. So I did get something out of Tinder. I met a couple of cool people. And this guy, he happened to throw kickbacks every once in a month. But last month he threw like 2, and I ended up going to one. So let me tell y'all how it went down. So I didn't have nobody to go to this kickback with. My best friend, I asked her to go, but she wanted to find out if her boyfriend wanted to go first, because if not, she wasn't gonna go without him. So my best friend didn't end up coming, and I had a friend who would have came, but he had made plans that night. So I'm like, should I really go by myself? The answer is yes. If you want to go somewhere and you really want to go and you don't have nobody to go with, go by yourself. Like, you're gonna have just as much as fun, if not more. So I went. So I get there, and at first I wasn't sure if it was the right location, because like it was so ducked off. But it was in this big house. It was an Airbnb. It was in this big house. So I'm knocking on the door. I see people in the back, but then nobody came to the door. So then I'm texting the guy. I'm like, is anybody in the house? Like, is there people there? And he's like, yeah, they got people there, and they have people on their way. And then 2 dudes come out like the side of the house, because there's like the house, there's like this little gate that you go through to get to the front door, and there's like a door all the way on the side. So then 2 dudes come from the side of the house, and they're like, oh, you here for the party? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you gotta go through this entrance through the side. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get in there, and you know, like, it's kind of awkward because like I'm by myself, and then I don't know nobody there. But they had like 3 girls sitting on the sofa, and then 2 girls at the table. Then they had like 2 dudes, one in the kitchen, and then one in another room. So, you know, I spoke like, how y'all doing? They like, hey, all dry. So I'm like, whatever. I walked to the table. I just sat by the 2 girls sitting at the table, and one of the girls is like, so who you here with? And I was like, I came by myself. She's like, you came by yourself? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I wanted to come, so I'm here. And she was like, I'm here with my cousin. So that's who the girl was sitting next to her. And the girl sitting next to her was like gone. Like, she wasn't like out of it, but she was on her level and she was lit. And then the girl who was talking to me, she was kind of like on her level a little bit too, a little tipsy. So I was like, what y'all had? And she was like, well, I had an edible. She had 2. She had 2. 2. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then, so I'm like, I ain't eat no 2. There's a guy who came over. He was like, hey, he was like, who you know? And I told him, or whatever. He's like, okay, bet. He was like, you want anything to drink? You want an edible? And they had like, they had Lucky Charms edibles, y'all. They had Lucky Charms, Fruity Pebbles. First I said no to it. And I was like, what y'all have to drink? He was saying like Crown, shit I never had before. I was like, y'all have Hennessy? He was like, yeah, we have Hennessy. I was like, I'll take some of that. Now, I never had Hennessy before, and I always hear people say they drink it. That shit tasted so nasty. I was like, this is Hennessy? He was like, yeah. I was like, you want me to mix it with something? I was like, what y'all have to mix it with? He was like, I can mix it with some lemonade. I was like, all right, do that then. So he mixed it with lemonade, and he came right back to me. So good, y'all. I drank like a whole cup of that bitch. As I'm drinking the Hennessy, I'm starting to get a little bit on my level. I'm like, all right, I'm relaxed. Because I'm not a drinker, because I don't get wild, but all of the shit tastes nasty. I don't have vodka, blue vodka. I don't have Malibu.
You're nasty.
All of it is nasty. Like, unless it's mixed into some kind of fruity drink or beverage, it's nasty. I don't like it. I don't do it. So he came around with another tray of edibles, asking anybody do they want any more. So I was like, fuck it, I'll take one to go. I'm not gonna take something that's gonna have me not in my right mind around a bunch of people that I don't know. Like, I cannot just trust that. So I was like, I'll take one, but I put it in my purse. They had, like I told y'all, when I first walked in, they had 3 girls sitting on the sofa, and then they had 1 girl sitting in a chair. Now, the girl who was sitting in the chair, she took one. She immediately ate it. She just gobbled that bitch up. It was gone in like 2 seconds. So she ate it, and she started laughing and giggling, and I'm looking like, what the fuck wrong with her? I was like, what is in those shits? The girl over here with her cousin that ate 2, she can't stop laughing. She moving around and shit. The cousin, she's giggling too, but she's, holding a conversation with me. She said she only had 1 and something to drink. Then you got the girl over here in the corner who just ate that bitch in less than 2 seconds, and she's already gone. Somebody called her on the phone. She like giggling like the shit is so funny. I don't know what these niggas put in this shit, but I am not consuming this until I get to my house. So the last few rounds of edibles, they were trying to see who wanted them. So at this point, I'm like, I'll take another one. I put that bitch in my purse. So then he was asking people who wanted to come smoke. Now, I smoke. I don't smoke with people I don't know. So I was like, nah, I'm good. And then at this point, I had already had a whole cup of Hennessy with lemonade. And then I went for another cup. It wasn't a smart decision. I know. 3 girls who were on the sofa, they got up and went to go smoke in the bathroom. And they had like 3 guys. And then they had the other girl who was giggling and laughing in the corner after she ate the edible. She left. So I feel like that was a smart decision for her to make, but it was also not a smart decision because she was driving and she had just ate that edible, and like me knowing what I went through and experience when I got home, I can only imagine what it was like for her having to drive and how difficult that must have been. So I hope she made it home okay, because I really don't know. One of the guys came back from the bathroom and we were talking or whatever. The girl next to me who was holding the conversation with me was like, yeah, I'm a drinker. And I was like, I'm not a drinker, I'm a smoker. Now why the fuck would I say that? I know that I was on my level at that point, because in the back of my mind I was like, why the fuck would you say that shit? So then the guy was like, oh, for real, you smoke? Because he was like, that's why I had asked you earlier, like, did you want to come to the bathroom and smoke? And I was like, oh yeah, I do, but I didn't. He was like, yeah, they still up in there, if you want to go in there. So at this point, I don't want to say I felt peer pressure, bitch, I'm 21 and I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. However, I felt like, I don't know. I don't know what I thought. I went in the bathroom, and then they had like a whole bunch of people in there. Like, they had way more people than I thought. Because like during this time, more people kept coming. The bathroom was big though. So I'm not gonna say they were all cramped up in the bathroom. But like, they had motherfuckers sitting in the tub, sitting on the edge of the tub. Somebody sitting on the toilet seat. Somebody standing up. But mostly everybody was sitting on the edge of the tub. And like, the way the tub was made, it wasn't like a regular tub. It was like where you can sit on the edge. It was a nice ass tub. It was a nice house. And for that area, I was surprised that the house was that nice and that big, because that's like the hood. They passing in rotation, right? So then they get to me. Like, I wanted to cough. My first time smoking, I didn't even cough. I was confused as to, that's how I knew this shit was strong. Not strong, but strong with a C. It was strong, whatever it was. I planned to play it off for like 2 seconds, and then I just turned around and walked out the fucking bathroom. I didn't even stay till like it got to me again, because I just knew if I took another one of them puffs, like, I'm like, how the fuck are y'all sitting up here smoking? Like, what, are y'all crackhead? Like, I didn't understand. What is really going on? As soon as I went to the bathroom, I knew in my mind, bitch, it's time to go. My intuition told me, bitch, it's time to go. So I said, okay. So the girl with the cousin who done ate too, she's trying to get her cousin to call the other cousin to come pick them up. And the other cousin is like, I'm not ready to go. You know, she's not in her right mind.
The guys, they're like, yeah, anybody want to pick full for some shots?
Nope.
I ain't trying to do that. I need to know how I'm getting home. I have no idea. I don't drive, and even if I did drive, I definitely wouldn't have driven to a party knowing that I was going to drink. And I'm like, I need to call a Lyft. I never thought of to take a cab or anything. So I asked my best friend, could she cash out me some money and I would pay it back to her so I can get a Lyft home. Fast forward, I ended up calling the Lyft, but the girl who was sitting at the table with me, her ride came before my Lyft. So I got a ride with her. I was on my level, so I didn't cancel it, and they ended up charging me a fee. I got home. I took an edible when I got home. I ate the whole thing. It was good. So I had a Fruity Pebbles and I had a Lucky Charms, and I don't even eat Lucky Charms cereal, so I knew I wasn't about to eat an edible. So first, it didn't hit me right then and there. This is how I knew I was tripping. I felt hungry all of a sudden, but I'm telling y'all, I got home after probably 1 going on 2. A whole hour had passed and I was still on the floor. I had not moved. I had went from the bed to the floor, and I was on the floor for some reason making Snapchat videos, and I felt hungry. I remember thinking, oh, I want to go to the kitchen to go get something to eat. I finally get up to go to the kitchen. I had made these red velvet chocolate chip cookie cupcakes. Maybe the day before I made those. So like, I knew in my mind those were in there, and I was like, oh, I want some of those. And so I took that and put icing on them and sprinkles, and I had 2 of those. As I was doing this, everything was slowed down. I felt like I was in slow motion. It felt like it took me 20 minutes to do something that should have only taken me maybe 3 minutes. And that's how I really knew. Anybody that ever have played Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and you'll know how the character goes into this red pill or like maybe a pink pill, and like once the character moves into that pill, it's like everything slows down. That's exactly how it felt for me. It felt like I was being so loud. Any noise that was going on was heightened. It felt like somebody had put a microphone. I don't even know how to explain it. When I finally got to my bedroom and I started to eat them, I ate them in literally 2 seconds. I remember saying, oh my God, this tastes so good. This tastes like zebra cakes.
What? What are you talking about?
I knew in my mind something wasn't right because they didn't taste like zebra cakes 2 days before. So I knew I was tripping. I remember just saying, oh my gosh, this is so good. This tastes like zebra cake. Like zebra cake. Zebra cake is the taste that it tasted like. So after I ate that, I blacked out. I don't know what happened because when I finally came back into it, I was like this. I was on the edge of my bed and I was like, like my heart was pumping extra, working extra hard and for my breath to catch. I don't remember feeling like I couldn't breathe. I didn't feel any pain or anything. It just felt like I was trying to catch a breath or something that I didn't have, but I didn't feel. But my heart rate, it felt so slow. Like my heart rate was slowed down so much, and it to the point where it scared me because I had never felt like my heart was beating that slow before. And it was nothing I can do about it. I literally had to just like lay down. I just realized that I skipped some parts. So before I lay down, I was having a laugh attack. Now I've heard people talk about laugh attacks and they told me it's like a non-stop thing. And I'm like, wow, that's wild. But you never really get a good understanding of something really sometimes until you have experienced it. And when I tell y'all, I blacked out again because when I blacked out and I came back into reality again, I was laughing non-stop. It was a hot mess. And don't do me, but I'm gonna insert like a few clips of like what I'm talking about so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Because I mean, face here like cheesed out, like laughing, like gone.
I'm not even interested in still having a number. If you still have a number, you still got a slumber going on with the house.
I will say this. If you eat an edible and it has a lot of strong stuff in it, you don't know what it has in it, eat it by yourself. But make sure you're home, you're safe around people that have your best interests in mind. Y'all gonna do something y'all gonna regret. It had me feeling a little extra type of way, like a little way I don't normally feel. It had me feeling a little like I want to get it popping. So I'm telling y'all, don't do it. So after feeling this type of way, I don't know, I'm not embarrassed by this, but it's weird. So I laid down, I started to watch a video. As I'm watching the video, tell me why the video was in fast forward. Y'all, I cannot make this up. Have you ever seen a movie where something is like, the people in the movies, they have the effect of where it's fast forward? Anything fast forward, anything. That's literally how the video was. Just to make sure that I was not tripping, that I was tripping, I rewinded it 3 times, y'all. And it did the same thing every time. The video was over in 2 seconds. Now, I have watched that video before. So I know that video it doesn't go by that fast. Every time I watched it, it was like it's over. Like, what the? Like, it was so weird. Now looking back on it, I realized that I was obviously crossfaded. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, a lot to do with it, nothing at all. This is what I got from this experience. I'm never doing edibles again. They're not for me. I did a few things right that night, but I did a few things wrong as well. For one, I went to a party knowing I was going to be under influence by myself. The girl who was sitting next to me and she not have been so nice, I would have been there at the party still waiting for a lift. And then I would have probably went outside and got into a lift and not knowing if I would have been safely driven to my home. But then not even knowing her, like, Even though she was nice, I didn't really know her. I didn't feel any kind of vibe off with her, but you just never know. I also made the decision to have not only another half a cup of Hennessy mixed with lemonade, but I went in the bathroom and smoked something that I didn't know what it was, what was in it. And like I said, I don't smoke with people I don't know. That could have been laced. I also made the decision to eat an edible knowing I had already drank, which caused me to get crossfaded. Me not thinking that it could happen from just 1 cup of Hennessy and a half, that's probably all it took for me. But I did make the decision to go home, to not take it until I got home, and I'm glad I did. Alright y'all, if this video was entertaining, please be sure to like this video. Also, leave me a comment down below and let me know, like, if you ever had an experience similar to this, eating an edible, or if you ever tripped off of anything else, what that was like. If you had an edible before or a few edibles before and you didn't have this strong of a effect, just let me know what y'all think it was. If y'all think it was the fact that I had drank something before or and mixed it. And don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button down below. I will see y'all in my next video.
You're standing on my neck.